As we begin this gentle Qigong and yoga class today, breathe into your hearts. Feel the breath expand in the center of your chest. And imagine a vibrant and beautiful sun there. And feel the sunlight expand on your inhale. Feel it travel outward into your inner landscape on the exhale. Good to see you, Anne. In Qigong, we can imagine streams of energy flowing from the heart dantian out into our fingertips, through our lower dantian to our feet. Let this sunlight pulse up into your mind. And if there's someone in your life who needs a little additional sunlight, let this energy from your heart center pulse towards them. And as you draw your concentrated attention to your heart center, notice the sensations around your heart center today. Notice if there are emotions moving through your heart center. And if you need it, can you draw lightness, warmth into your own heart for your own well-being? And as we breathe into our heart centers, think for a few moments of times recently when you've felt joy. Feel the sensations. Picture your expression as you feel joy. we can cultivate joy. By really allowing ourselves to spend time in the sensation, in the feeling when it comes. Now, for a few moments, think about times you felt gratitude, who you felt the gratitude towards, what you felt the gratitude for. And let the sensations of gratitude permeate your body. Now, for a moment, think of 3 things you feel gratitude for. And if more than 3 things arise, that's okay. And then let's inhale our palms up over our hearts. And breathe into awareness of all that you love in this world. In yoga, the innermost and outermost sheath, or kosha, is Ananda, the bliss body, where we recognize this love, this gratitude, this joy. This river of Ananda is always there. It connects all of us. Let's invite our awareness of it in practice today. Thank you for sharing your energy. Namaste. Okay. Let's come to standing. Right now, I'm feeling happy for some of you because I know you're about to do fun things. And others, I hope that you're having good moments in your lives. And I know we've been talking about Kathy getting to go see her Kathy's grandbaby, and now she's going to get to go see her grandbaby. So that's exciting. Let's let our arms gently flow just to get in motion. Invite fluidity, the water element, into our joints and our fascial tissue. But today, as we invite the water in, let's also invite in the open sky and the sunlight. And as we begin to flow, feel for a spaciousness inside the joints, a spaciousness between the bones of your feet, around the bones of your ankle, up into your knees and your hips, up between each of the vertebrae, into the shoulders and the elbows, the wrists and the palms. Invite a spaciousness between the back ribs and the vertebrae so that the spine can gently flow without running into obstacles. See if the shoulders can feel fluid and open. The neck and the connection between the skull and the spine. Feel into the air around you, and as you inhale, draw it into the heart center. And then land the feet and reach for the wheel of fire and lift it skyward and release it earthward. And remember, if you have shoulder issues, you could be moving from the elbows. You could be keeping the elbows soft as you lift the wheel and lower the wheel. The knees can bend, you can fold forward. Do what's right for your body as you lift the wheel skyward and lower it earthward. And feel how you're stretching from the heart center out the arms, inviting circulation from this heart center through the arms. Invite those heart qualities to flow. Generated at the heart center through the movement of the arms, but let those heart qualities flow through the entire body to whatever parts of you need them. Pausing at the top, take your circles the other direction. Honoring the sunlight and the cycles of day and night. As the days lengthen, as we come into June, moving into summer. Fluid breath, fluid motion, effortless effort. Soften for the flow. And then release your hands down, palms facing your lower dantian. Fluid breath. And visualize energy pulsing in the lower dantian. This is sometimes referred to as a red field. I like visualizing it as a red field of poppies. And then your heart center is the sun above this field of growing flowers. And as we swing our hands towards the heavens, that energy will run up towards the heart. So hands by the lower dantian for a moment. Raise your hands up to the heart center. And then it'll whoosh back down to the lower dantian. And then it will rise to the heart center and whoosh back down to the lower dantian. Feel that generating energy. We'll swing our arms towards the heavens, palms up, and then we will swing the arms back down to cup the lower dantian. And as we swing up, we'll make the sound hum. And as we swing down, we'll exhale forcefully. As we swing up on the hung, the energy rises to the heart. And as we bring the hands down, it moves back to the lower dantian. Hung, 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 Hong, hong, hong. Let your hands rest on the lower dantian and bring your heels together. Stepping your left foot lightly forward. We'll bow with straight legs. It can be a low bow or a larger bow. And draw the foot back. Again, the energy is running up to the heart and back down to the lower dantian. We step forward and bow on the hung. We draw the heel back on the hung, 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 hung. Sorry, there's a plane going over. Izzy, no, sorry. There's a plane. Hey, 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 come here. Come here. Shh. Okay, it's gone. Pause. With your energy, fluid breath. Feel for energy vibrating at the heart. Fluid breath. Let your hands rise, palms up from your sides. Bring your pinkies towards one another. And curl your fingers into the palms as you draw the hands towards the heart. And then reach, thumbs down, pinkies up, the hands forward, and part the clouds that are around the heart. And release your arms. And we inhale, float the arms up, and exhale, bring the pinkies together. Draw the hands in towards the heart, curling the fingers, and open the palms, spreading the clouds away from the heart, and release the hands to your sides. And inhale, the arms float up, and the pinkies come together on the exhale. Inhale, draw the hands into the heart, and exhale, part the clouds and release the arms. And we draw the arms up and the pinkies together, curling the fingers in towards the heart and taking the palms apart, parting the clouds and releasing the hands. And we inhale and exhale and inhale and exhale. And continue with this at your own breath pace. Inhaling the lift, exhaling the drawing together, inhaling the curling in, exhaling the parting of the clouds. And continue. And then next time your hands come down, pause with them facing the lower dantian. Breathing into the heart center, the sun of your being. Having parted the clouds from the heart, we'll now invite that parting to lift to the mind as we bring our hands across the body like we're going to lift up two sides of our t-shirt and float the arms skyward without the skin touching, and open the arms, parting the clouds. You may want to switch which arm crosses over the front to have a little different stretch in the shoulder girdle. You may not be able to do the whole motion. It's fine to modify. But we cross our arms over and we lift the arms skyward. The palms turn up, the gaze turns up, and we part the clouds and clear the mind. We let the sunlight from the heart rise and fill the mind with that lightness, that warmth, that clarity that can come in summer. And if your mind's been tired, allow the sunlight to warm and clear the mind. Full three-dimensional breaths as you inhale the lift and rise and exhale the release. Let your hands themselves become like floating clouds that part. And let your hands rest down to your sides. From the lower dantian, feel into your roots, into your feet, into the earth itself. From your roots, breathe up to this heart center and invite an expansiveness, a spaciousness to the heart. And then become a flying goose, turning head as the backs of your hands come together and your arms press out and your fingers spread. Look out over your left fingertips and take an inhale. Exhale across the horizon to the right and take an inhale. Exhale back to center and release. Inhale the backs of your hands up the center channel. Exhale, spread your hands and fingers. Inhale, look to the right. Exhale across to the left and take an inhale. Exhale, release your hands. And one more time, we'll inhale, floating the arms up and pressing, spreading the fingers and looking left. And exhaling across to the right and inhaling. And exhaling the release. And inhaling the arms up through the center channel and exhaling, looking right. Take an inhale. And exhale across to the left and inhale. And exhale, release. And flow your right shoulder up, down, and back, and then your left. And invite movement inside the chest, along the back ribs, to the front of the shoulder blade. Invite the fascia to warm up so more space can be created in this chest. Fluid breath. Maybe your elbow stretches up into the circles and your hands. And each finger finds movement, but we don't over effort. We find that place where the shoulder can roll without pinching. So you find that in your own body. Fluid breath. Feeling for gentle opening, stretching. And let your arms come down and float to one side and then the other, and invite the chi to lift you like a gentle breeze underneath your wings, floating on the energy, on the ananda. You can point the toe away from which you're moving as you float and feel the buoyancy of the lift and the lift. When we come into this fire heart practice, we cultivate the playfulness that can bring joy. And we pause back with our lower dantian, our feet grounding us, our heart lifting. And step our feet together to become the flying crane. Now we bend the knees and bring the thumbs and fingers together, really curling under at the wrist to stretch the wrist. And then we exhale, release the fingers, straighten the legs. And we inhale, the wings lift, the beak turns in, we exhale and float back up. Inhaling and exhaling. Fluid breath and motion. Let your elbows be soft. So every time we do this kind of motion with the arms lifting from the heart center, we're activating the heart meridian. Fluid breath. So the crane practice is a really good fluid motion for the heart meridian. At the same time, we can gently work the wrist so that we create a flexibility in the fascia of the hands and wrists and are less likely to struggle with things like carpal tunnel. So we invite that heart energy to flow through the body as loving kindness to all our joints, all our fascial tissue. And you can make the knee bends large or you can make them small. Feel for a fluid flight. And then next time your hands come down, let's bend the knees and let the hands circle and cross again, lifting towards the sky. Float your arms out to the sides and the knee up into your rising phoenix. Fluid breath. Now you can be your favorite raptor floating on the wind, or that phoenix rising out of the ashes. Or release this side and inhale, the wings rise. Exhale, we circle the knees. Inhale, we lift to the next toe. Exhale, we float the arms open and lift the knee. And we balance for a few breaths. Good to see you, Jane. Happy birthday. And release. And we inhale and exhale. And inhale to the toe. And exhale into our flight. Imagine soaring through the sky on the wind currents. And step down and inhale and exhale and inhale and exhale. Really let yourself be the raptor floating through the blue sky high above earth. And release. Pause in Wuji. Remember today this sense of boundarylessness. Soften the skin and imagine the chi, the prana can flow in through the pores. The stagnant energy can flow out through the nearest pores. Whole body breathing. Become like the puppy sleeping, whole body pulsing. And become the great blue heron and open your wing and draw it back to center. And open the other side and back to center. And we inhale and exhale. And we, each one of us, follow our own breath cycle so we can make the movements fluid and easeful. As you twist, feel the back of your heart moving. I remember one of my yoga teachers saying, the back of your heart is what connects you to community. It's how we have each other's backs. We inhale and exhale. Coming back to center, pause. Place your left hand behind your back and and it's behind your back with the palm up. And bring your right hand across your body as you gently lunge to the left. And imagine you're holding two little glowing orbs or balls in your hand. You're going to lift the orb skyward. And then you'll exhale, come through center. The hands will switch and you'll lift the left hand. Even the right hand's palm up. And we exhale and we switch. Imagine you're a child playing and you're lifting a new beautiful ball towards the sky. Carol, it might be one of those beautiful marbles. Inhaling and exhaling. We lift and lower and let it become a little playful. Maybe you have a little bounce. Find the joy. Invite a smile. Let yourself remember times when you played. Stay with your breath. It's an inhaled lift, an exhaled release into the change. And you might want to move slowly. It's funny, when I do this joy practice, I tend to get faster. Inhaling and exhaling. And come back to center. Wuji. Let your head rest back. And imagine that your third eye dantian, is floating over the heart, over the pelvis. Fluid breath. Notice if there's any vibration in your hands. The chi moving. And inhale and invite your hands to spread and invite energy into the lower dantian. And exhale, cleanse this dantian. And inhale, fill. And exhale, cleanse. Again, imagine that red field of poppies, vibrant and alive in its color, the storage battery of your energy. pulse the energy into the soils and the roots of these plants growing in the lower dantian. And then let the hands rest over the lower dantian and the energy settle. And bring your hands up to your heart. And inhale, draw energy into the heart, dantian, and exhale. Send that energy through the body and beyond. Visualize yourself radiating sunlight. It radiates out the back body, up through your crown, out through each limb. Out from the front of the heart center. The whole circumference, the whole hemisphere radiates. I guess the whole sphere radiates. And rest your hands onto this radiant energy. Bring your hands up to the third eye and inhale in clear energy from the heart. Invite the sunlight up into the mind. Invite in the fresh spring to summer air. Full, deep, three-dimensional breath. Still energy pulses in the lower dantian and in the heart dantian. Both supportive energy, giving supportive energy to the third eye. So we clear the mind. Resting our hands over the third eye dantian. Let your clear mind be connected to your heart as one hand comes to the heart. Be connected to the lower dantian as the third eye hand releases there. Let your arms release and let them spread wide. And imagine your feet rooting down into the very center, molten center of the earth. And let your heart and head lift up into the heavens. And imagine the fabric of your body is becoming very thin and loose. Let your arms stretch on and on and on across the galaxy and the universe, so that you can see starlight and planets through your skin. Let the cosmic energy move through you. Stretch you open, relax the tissue, and create space. And let yourself unravel until you become the space. Breathe space in. Continue to feel the space as you draw your limbs back in, back in, back in towards the body, resting your hands over the heart. Bow your head slightly and feel into this inner landscape. Invite in spacious warmth. And releasing your hands, curl in all but your index finger and begin to shake the index finger pointing towards the earth. And let the hand shake and the arm shake all the way up to the shoulder. Coming into your primary form, let the body shake and let that space move all around the body. Any residual tension, we're letting it go. Letting it go from the face and the jaw and the muscles behind the eyes, from the neck and shoulders and the base of the skull, down each arm, between each set of ribs, each vertebrae. Really feel into unwinding the tension down into the pelvis and hips, through the legs and even into the feet. Feel into the emotional tension you may be holding in your body and see if you can shake any of that loose and let it flow. And then pause. Feel into the moving energy. And let your hands begin to gently twist around the body. Those of you who have spinal injuries, remember the arms can swing without much of a twist to the spine. Those of you who want fluidity up through the spine, invite it. Really try to release the arms and let them traction out of the shoulders, away from the head. Let the fascia lengthen. The fascia of the spine move. Stay conscious of the back of your heart. Now let one hand come up and tap the lung while the other taps the kidney. And invite energy flow through these meridians as we knock on the door of life. Usually we start practice with this, but here we are, hearts open, knocking on the door of life. Inviting ourselves to be fully present this day in all that we do, bringing our whole selves to every event and occasion. Let the arms swing loose again. Release them from the shoulder joint. Let the neck lengthen skyward. And come back slowly to stillness. And pause in Wuji. Try to stand with as little effort as possible. Very gently fine-tune your posture towards ease. Notice any gripping that's a habit when you stand, and see if you can let it go. Now, as you stand with as little effort as possible, tune back into the heart center. Breathe expansively into the heart center. into your dreams, your visions, your hopes. And gently release. Okay. Let's step to the wall and bring our fingers high on the wall, our feet as wide as our hips, our hands wide as our shoulders, and slowly come onto the balls of the feet and release the heels. Continue to breathe into the heart center today and invite release into the rib cage, into the fascial tissue that connects neck and shoulders down into the torso. Lift up onto the balls of the feet again. Stick your fingers to the wall, and as you release the hips, try to lengthen the spine. Breathe that warmth and space, that sunlight between the vertebrae. One more time, we'll lift high, and one more time, we'll stretch the spine, letting the pelvis release. Then let your hands slowly move down the wall until they're at the height of your navel. And walk in towards the wall if you need to. Come into your Tadasana. Collarbones spread open, shoulder blades on the back, root your tailbone. And inhale, lengthen the sleeve of muscles around the spine and roll the heart skyward, taking the base of the skull back behind you. The hips stay steady, the knees stay steady, and we roll the heart open, lengthening the back of the neck, breathing into the lifting heart. We're not collapsing in the low back. We're lifting the low back rib ring away from the rooting tail. The shoulder blades are helping to lift and buoy the heart center. And then we exhale and release and turn ourselves backs to the wall. The long arm bone, the humerus bone, pressing against the wall. My plant is in the way. And let your head rest back. Feel into your Tadasana, and as you root down from the feet, lift your pelvis up. Lengthen up the sleeve of muscles along the spine and breathe into the lifting heart. This doesn't mean flaring the ribs. Keep the ribs connected to your hip pointers in your neutral lumbar curve, but breathe a lift into the heart, an expansiveness. Pressing the head of your arm bones back. The shoulders may not touch the wall, but we're inviting them to widen and to press back without locking the knees back. Fluid breath. You can stay here working just this or put the weight on one foot, lift to the other toe and lift the knee. Still broad across the back body, breathe into the heart center. Hug in the banks of your river, and if you'd like to, straighten the lifted leg. And then bend the knee and sway back across, lifting to the other toe. Broad across the back body, long in your humerus bones, float the knee up. So your back body's against the wall, and the humerus bone, the whole length of it, is pressing back to help you open the heart center in the chest. If you don't have a wall, just imagine, let your head rest back and the heart lift. And if you'd like to, straighten the leg. In yoga, this is Padangusthasana. And bend the knee and step down. Now, bring your hands back to the wall behind you. If you don't have a wall, you could lift up a yoga strap and take it back behind you like this, or a TheraBand, and lift back. Okay, so if you're at the wall, heels against the wall, bring your fingernails back behind you. Touch the wall and gently lean off the wall like you're the prow of a ship, and inhale, find a lift to your heart. Make sure you're not hyperextending your knees as you root the four corners of your feet. Inhale and lengthen the spine, lifting the heart as you broaden across the back of the collar. Lift the back base of the skull and lift the heart center. Breathe deep into this chest, opening and expanding the tissue around the heart. And then step off the wall and roll your shoulders. And let your hands move back, palms up, lift the heart skyward, look skyward. Let the arms wash around back of hand to back of hand. And inhale, the wave lifts and rolls over. And we inhale and exhale. And let the wave roll like water. But really invite the heart to be buoyant, floating up and folding over. Concentrating on this heart opening, the spine lengthening today. Fluid breath. And then gently come back up into your Tadasana. Four corners of the feet rooting, lift your arches. Lengthen the body skyward through the crown. Breathe three-dimensionally into the heart center. Okay. Lift up your yoga strap and take it behind your back. And so it's just as wide as your hips. You can use a belt or whatever you might have around. And rooting your tailbone, take the hands gently back, palms back. Find a lift to the heart. And your arms don't have to go back too far. You still want to release the back of the collar. Release the shoulders wide. But activate gently that abdominal core so that you can lift your heart. Imagine there are banks to your river. Hug in from the outer hips into the banks of your river. And pause here. Now, some of you may be able to go farther. Some of you, this may be enough work right here. You may feel good stretch in the chest. Bend your knees if you'd like to go farther, and hinge the pelvis forward with a long spine honoring your neutral curves, and perhaps the arms lift a little higher. Don't drop the head of the arm bone forward to try to get higher. We're trying to open that front chest. Some of you may be able to lay your belly right on your femur bones and lift your sit bones, lifting your knuckles towards the sky in Uttanasana. Honor your own body. Fluid breath. Only go as far as is right for you today. These look good. Keep the back of your neck long wherever you are. Fluid breath. And then exhale, rooting into your feet, unhinge. Lift back up. Take the yoga strap to the front of the body. Inhale, lift the arms skyward. Rooting through your feet. Root your tail and lift the heart. Let your hands slide along the strap so that they open as wide as they'd like to be, and pause wherever the stretch feels right for you. You can exhale back down the front of the body, or you can inhale and lift the strap and let it come behind you if you have that flexibility. You decide. Don't push for the range of motion. Remember this idea of effortless effort. Tune in to your wisdom body, your Jnanamaya Kosha. Tune in to the Anandamaya Kosha. This whole practice should help us find that bliss body. Celebrate our breath each moment. And then bring the strap back forward and press it against the front legs. Draw the head of your arm bones back without flaring the ribs or sticking your hind end out, without throwing the pelvis forward. Root into your feet and lift the heart. So now we're strengthening the back a little because we have to have some resistance here. So we press back. We press the heart of the arm bones back. We don't let them fall forward. We keep pressing them back. And we breathe up into the heart center at the front body and the back body. We breathe the rib cage wide. And release. Let's bring in our chair and take a seat with the bolster on the back. Now, if you don't have a bolster, you could use a couch pillow or a Gertie ball. But we'll sit back against something. You could even roll up a yoga mat and have it behind your back. Just something that'll allow you, the head of your arm bones to rest back around something behind you with support at the head. Fluid breath. Let your palms turn up, thumbs back, so it's external rotation of the arm bones, and let the head of the arm bones rest back as you breathe up into the heart center. And rest the body open. Breathe length into the spine. And rest the body open. Fluid breath. Fill the lower dantian with breath. Fill the circle of the lowest ribs with breath. Fill the heart center with breath. Invite the spine to ripple along with the breath. And then exhale and release forward. You can do that same heart opener again, or you can bring in your yoga strap. And we'll inhale, lift the yoga strap overhead, arms wide, as we lean back onto the bolster, stretching the heart open again. Fluid breath. Now remember, you want to keep the tailbone rooting and your sit bones grounded so that you don't overarch the lumbar spine. So we keep a gentle lift at the low back ribs and at the base of the skull. We want to keep a spacious spine. So not everybody's arms may open back behind you. Some may still be forward, but you get a nice stretch in the shoulders, in the front chest. Fluid breath. Feel into the sensations of the stretch. Let your body know, I see you, I feel you. I'm here as witness. I offer you loving kindness. And then exhale, release back up to sitting. Okay, so next we can take the bolster off the chair and we're going to do a really modified camel pose. First, we'll start with one foot behind us and you bring your buttocks kind of up to the edge of the chair. Some of you may have enough flesh on your buttocks like I do to slide your sit bones kind of off the edge and have the flesh holding you. Some of you may not have that much. You can reach back and hold the sides of your chair, or you can press your metacarpal knuckles into the chair. You could even put yoga blocks behind you if you'd like. And we're going to lift the heart, lift the gaze, and reach the knee towards the floor. A fluid breath. Some of you may be able to come to the heels of your hand and release your knee, your shin fully to the floor. Keep your hips level with each other. And keep thinking of lengthening up through the pelvic floor, along the sleeve of muscles along the spine, broad across the shoulder girdle, a lift to the heart. Fluid breath. And then exhale, back up onto the seat and release. Let your arms shake. Let your fingers go, your palms, your wrists. And then take the next leg under. Come to the position that's right for you. Honor your body. Don't try to get too low with the hands. You can be on the metacarpal arch. I like that to begin with because then I can lengthen the back body. I don't put too much pressure between the vertebrae. And then as I bring my knee towards the floor, I come to the heel of my hands. Fluid breath. But everybody's body's different and has different proportions, so the chair will fit you differently. So you've got to kind of be willing to modify for yourself. Hug from hip to hip towards center. Lift through the pelvic floor up the whole length of the sleeve of muscles around the circumference of the spine. So don't just lift the front of the spine. Think of lengthening the back and the sides, the diagonals, the neck. Keep your fluid breath moving up into that heart center and expanding. And then exhale, back up onto your chair. Okay, let's gently counter those back bends with a forward fold, bringing your blocks in and your sit bones wide on the chair. Now, some of you may not hinge far enough to reach the blocks. You can pause here with a long spine. Some of you will be able to hinge from the hip and bring your hands down to a blocks or a footstool. Find that length to your spine, resting your knees wide open. Breathe that spacious sky between the vertebrae. Invite in the warm summer days. Maybe you can take your blocks lower. Still feel into grounding the four corners of the feet, the knees staying open. And you can have your knees closer to your shoulders or wider apart, whatever's right for you, right? So it's going to depend on your adductor opening, how wide your legs go. Some of you will be able to hinge farther and take the blocks forward and wide. Keep the knees open. Breathe that warm summer sky between the vertebrae and into the fascial tissue along the spine. You can breathe in that ananda. Breathe in healing chi and prana. Invite in space and warmth. And then gently walk the blocks back in. They can be on high, medium, or low. And rest your right hand on the blocks and float your left wing up. Now, if you don't twist, you can stay here, really drawing the left shoulder blades strong onto your back ribs. That'll help you strengthen the back body. If you'd like to twist, root both feet. Make the intention of keeping the knees where they are and float the arm whatever distance skyward. Make sure you don't lift the wrist too far behind your back. Guide from the shoulder blade and the head of the arm bone. Beautiful. Nice alignment. So I don't want to see this, right, where you're throwing the wrist back and this head of the arm bone pops out. You want to draw the head of the arm bone back. Really feel it from the shoulder blade. Yeah, beautiful. And then exhale, release that wing. Float your right wing onto your back. Really seat the shoulder blade on your back. Long spine, rooted feet and sit bones, and then we float the wing open. And breathe into the whole circumference of the rib cage. Again, expanding space for the heart center. Fluid breath. And exhale, release the lifted wing. Come back to your seat. Left hand on your femur, right arm alongside your ear. Stretch the right side body open. Perhaps you come down to your forearm. Again, feel how you can create space inside the torso. Breathe and let the heart center expand into the stretch. If you'd like to take the stretch into more exploration, you can turn your heart towards earth, feel the stretch more along the back body, or lift the heart towards the sky, open the wings of the collarbones. Play with what is best stretch for your body. Move slowly, effortless effort, exploring space. And then remember, when we come up, we want to exhale, activate the pelvic floor and the transverse abdominis. And we switch sides. And we inhale into the length. You can lift the left sit bone off the chair and then reach it back and wide down towards the chair to get even more of a side stretch. Some of you will stay on the hand, some come to the forearm. Some may want to twist your heart down to honor earth, or lift your heart to honor the heavens, or rainbow the arm over. Explore what is best in your unique body. I see you, body. I feel you. I'm offering you this practice. I could stay here for a while. This side feels really, really good to me. Okay, exhale, float back up. Draw your knees together and turn to the right. Inhale, length to the spine, and bring your hands to your heart. Exhale. Start the twist today from your eyes. Let your eyes look to the left and let your head follow, and your hearts and your lower spine. The back of the right hand comes against the outer left knee, and the left arm opens. Fluid breath. And we breathe up into the heart center and up the neck into the third eye. And we invite that warm sunlight to help us open. Breathe space along the vertebrae. And then exhale, hands to the heart. And take the legs around to the other side and inhale, length to the spine. And exhale, let the eyes guide the twists, the neck follow, the shoulders, the heart. Finally, the lower spine. The back of the left hand crosses the knee. The right arm opens behind you. Breathe deep and three-dimensionally into your torso. And exhale, unwind. Okay, one more seated back bend here. Just sitting on your chair, bring your thumbs to the base of your skull, interlace your fingers, and wrap your elbows forward. Lift the base of the skull away from the shoulders and release the back of your collar. Root your tailbone, lift the low back rib ring. Lift the rings that give you support, and then as you lift your elbows, keep lengthening the back of the spine and lift the heart. If you feel any pinching in the hinging, we don't want that. We come back up and we focus on strengthening the length of the spine without collapsing into the back bend. We lift the elbows skyward. We stretch the spine long. And exhale. Release back to sitting. And for a moment, pause. Pause with your breath. We focus in many classes on breathing deep down into the belly. And I want that breath to still go deep if it can. But today, also let it really expand inside the upper torso, into the back ribs and the spaces between the ribs, into the side ribs, creating space for the heart. Okay, so let's come up off the chair and we will come to the floor. I'd like us to start with the Salambhasana series. So bring in your bolster or your blankets. Some of you may be able to do this from the floor. Again, if you have spinal issues like stenosis and back bending isn't good for you, then you'll want to modify and go to any of the other exercises we've already done that felt good to you. Okay. Place your lowest ribs at the front of the bolster, supported by the bolster, so your chest can rest over the bolster, and your forehead on your block, your forearms long and parallel with each other. Okay. Yeah, that'll probably work. You may want to put a blanket over it, Jim. I don't know. Try it. Okay. Just be careful with your spine. Yeah. Okay. Roll your toes under if that's accessible to you and pressing into your forearms. Imagine that there's a helium balloon under your pelvis and navel and it lifts you almost off your support or off your support into a low plank. Fluid breath. Stretch from pelvic floor to crown, honoring your neutral curves. And if anything, you lift your buttocks a little higher than your shoulders rather than sagging the low back. That's the beauty of having the bolster or a support beneath us. Take a few breaths into the building strength in your body. This is a very good all-around core strengthener, body strengthener. And we release back onto our prop. Now, reach your hands in a Y wide of your head onto your fingertips. Reach your tailbone, excuse me, for your heels. And inhale, lift to your heart. Lengthen through the crown as you hug in the banks of your river. You may feel your front ribs slide forward as you lift your heart, but also feel that reach of the tailbone allowing you to lengthen the low back. Take a few breaths. And then exhale, release. Forearms under you again, toes turned under. Press into the forearms. Let that helium balloon lift your pelvis, lift your navel. Come into your low plank. Still here, see if you can feel for a three-dimensional breath. And then release your torso onto your prop. You can come into that first low cobra or bring your hands under your shoulders, reaching the tailbone for your heels. Inhale, lift the heart, lengthen the spine up into your cobra. You can stay with a baby cobra even here, hands under your shoulders. Just lifting the shoulders, broadening them. Keep reaching your tailbone for your heels and root your pubic bone to stay out of the low back. Fluid breath into the heart center, pulsing the heart open, inviting that summer energy in. And then exhale, lengthen back down onto your bolster, hands by your sides, palms down, thumbs out. This may be hard to do on a roller. Inhale, lift into your Salambhasana. Some of you could do this just from the floor. You lift your palms, your feet, your heart gently into a back bend. Lengthen from the base of the skull to your tailbone. Building strength in the back body as we open the heart. Three-dimensional breath. And then exhale. Release the hands under the shoulders, the knees under the hips. Roll off your bolster and come on to hands and knees. If it's hard to be on your knees, your hands can be on the seat of a chair and you can stand on your feet. Inhale your cow and exhale your cat. Flow, inhaling, heart away from sit bone. Exhaling, lifting the navel, lifting the spine into the hissing cat. You may rock your pelvis back towards your heels to stretch the length of the spine. And we inhale and exhale. Fluid spine can make for more ease and joy in the body. Now roll your toes under, lift up into your downward dog, and walk your dog. Ground each finger pad. Stretch the pelvis up away from the heart center. Stretch the whole circumference of the torso. Breathe three-dimensionally into any tissue that would like to open. And roll back down to your knees. Knees open wide, big toes together. Roll back towards your child's pose. If you're using a chair, roll back into downward dog. Fluid breath. You can stay in this centered child's pose, or you can walk your hands around to one side, inhaling into the opposite side body. Again, you may want to sway your shoulders a little up and down, feeling for a stretch in your own unique body. Be willing to gently move and invite water into tight tissue. As you're ready, walk your hands to the other side. Fluid, three-dimensional breath. Creating spaciousness in the body. And around the heart. Let's come back to center. And rolling ourselves up, let's roll over. And today, if you'd like to, you can bring your chair in and you can bring your bolster in lengthwise or a long blanket. So I'll give you a couple options. One option would be to bring your calves onto your chair and draw the bolster underneath your pelvis. You could draw in a yoga block or a couch cushion if it's firm enough. And this would be your waterfall pose. If you're wanting to stay with the heart opening theme, you can do what we did last week and bring in a block and your bolster and a pillow and have your heart opener with your legs up on your chair. Okay, so you choose. So I'm going to do that one with the pillow. Get myself comfortable here. Okay, I don't really need the block, I'm short enough. And then make sure that you're warm enough after this sun practice. So you can cover yourself with a blanket if you need one. If you have an eye pillow, you're free to use that to relax your eyes. Let yourself rest back into your restorative pose. Let's come back to the breathing practice we started class with. Breathing into the heart center. Feel the back of your heart supported by earth. Invite a sense of grounded support into your body. And from earth, invite in awareness of the water element and your ability to go with the flow, to let emotions flow, to let joy and gratitude flow, loving kindness. Then breathe into expansive awareness of the open sky and the sunlight, the lengthening days as we move towards summer. And let the memory of wonderful summer days, the sense of summer, come into your body. And for this Shavasana, see if you can let joyful sensations, memories, images, gratitudes, and love flow. Let this be our dharana, our concentration practice today. joy, gratitude, loving kindness. Gently deepen your breath. Let that heart energy pulse through you as you stretch and move in whatever way feels good in your body. And then, as you're ready, slowly begin to move yourselves back up towards a comfortable seat. When you come into your seat, come into awareness of as much of yourself as you can, your whole being. This lovely, unique, and radiant being. Let's inhale our hands to our hearts. May the sun's energy warm your own heart and remind you to look for and cultivate joy, gratitude, happiness, loving kindness for yourself and others. Namaste. Thank you. Thank you for your practice.
Thank you, Tracy. That was great.
Good, Kathy.
Great. Thank you.
Got you prepared to go see your little grandbaby.
Exactly. I love that you awaken the playfulness in me personally, because it's something that I neglect. And it was so wonderful, and the heart opening, the lightheartedness that comes from that heart opening feels so good.
Good, Karen. I'm glad.
Connects with the playfulness. So.
Oh, good. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah. Yeah, I like that. I like that ball. Child playing. Yeah. Isn't that fun? Yeah.
And I like the one where we're.
Oh, yeah. Isn't that beautiful?
That just feels so lovely.
Yeah. I love that one. Parting the clouds from the heart. And it's an image I feel like I could use a lot, because I can get kind of clouded, and it's like, oh, yeah, you kind of feel like you're really doing it, right? You know what I mean? I'm parting those clouds.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I didn't even think of it that way, but oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
It's great.
good.
I did the practice with my correct toes on today.
Oh, wow, you enjoy both. How did that feel?
And it was great. I
Yeah.
was wondering how the plank would go, but no problem.
Oh, good. Huh, that's very cool.
What are those? They have, I don't know, you probably don't want to look at my feet, but anyway, they
Sure we
kind
do.
of separate your toes.
It's kind of hard to see.
Probably can't see them. So each toe has its own slot? Yeah. Okay. And not even what kind of looks like this. Yeah, see mine. Oh, yeah. And then your toes just go in there, and it just kind of separates and lengthens them, which is really nice.
Yeah. They talk about, you've done those foot workshops. They talk about those quite a bit in that Northwest Foot and Ankle, some of their material on their website. And you can buy them from them too.
That's where I got them.
That's where you got them. Yeah.
What are they called? Toe separators or? Correct toes. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I have several people have been trying
this.
this.
Wide enough, you can wear them in shoes too.
Yeah.
And wearing my sandals. Yeah. I've started drying up the board there. That this was a little different today. It seemed like, and it started off very slowly and mindfully. Yeah, I liked it a lot.
Oh, good, Ruth.
Yeah. In fact, would you send this to me? This would be a great one for this crazy time of year for me.
Okay, hang on. Let me get a pen, because if I don't write it down, I haven't been very good. But I put a notebook here so that I could continue to write it down. So, okay.
Thank you, Tracy.
You're welcome. So Ruth and Kathy. Yeah. Okay. Ruth.
And Tracy.
Yeah.
I won't be able to do this class after this week, but I would love it if you could send it to me, and then I can do it in the afternoon when I get home.
Okay, yeah, I can do that. I send it to Betty every week when she can't make it too. So
that's great.
I always,
I really appreciate it.
yeah, okay. Oops.